What's up, YouTube? Hefe coming to you, Captain Awesome's Fish Room, guys. It's Friday. What does that mean? Q&A Friday, guys. Got lots of good questions, some really controversial ones as well. So this ought to be a really fun one. I'm going to start out by looking at the planted tank. As you can see, some stuff has changed in here. Let me back up a little bit, guys. Some stuff has changed. What I did was I took all the plants out and I got every single jaguar / crib that was in there, because when I walked in here this morning and the lights were on, I had an Eaton red cherry and then I had an Eaton yellow one. Pissed me off. So took out all the plants, took out all the fish, and now my shrimpy shrimp have this awesome plant holding tank as their home until they go inside my 50 long planted tank to live out and breed the rest of their days. And something I wanted to kind of share with y'all guys. I've gotten a lot of comments since I started showing these shrimps that I got from Katie. Saying it's not good to mix these three species because they will breed together. Guys, I know they will breed together. I am new to the shrimp. However, I asked lots of questions to my buddy Katie, and she definitely let me know that, if I didn't want them to hybridize, that I should keep them inside separate tanks. But guys, with me just learning about shrimp, I want to keep them all together. I want to see how they interact together. I want to see the neat little color forms that'll come out from all of them interbreeding and stuff like that. And by no means will I ever sell anything as something that it's not, guys. If I have a hybrid shrimp that you like, believe me, you'll know it's a hybrid shrimp. I'm not going to try to tell you, it is something that it isn't. So, I said that inside my previous video. I just don't think anybody heard it, so I just wanted to say it again. For those of you that, are telling me that these guys are going to breed together and, hybridize, thank you for the information, guys, but, I found out from my buddy Katie that they'll do that, and I am expecting it. So, with that said, I'm not dogging anybody for leaving comments or anything. I love the comments. I really appreciate them. I just wanted everybody to know that, I purposely did that. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on with Q&A Friday. Speak of the devil, first question comes from my girl Katie. Asks, how often does the 4-DKH solution need to be changed in the drop checker? Guys, and for those of you that don't know what this is, the 4-DKH solution is an indicator fluid. Look, I'll show you an example here. You see in my drop checker how that bulb in the middle there, let me get my finger, that bulb inside the bulb right there, how it's that, like that greenish yellow color. That's a reference fluid that is the color of what you want your indicator fluid to look like. The indicator fluid is inside that big ball right there. What that fluid is it's a fluid that measures the pH level, it does have stuff to do with pH, but it measures the CO2 level inside of your tank, and when it's the right color, it means that you have 30 ppm or 30 parts per million of CO2 inside of your water column, which is what is considered optimum levels. But with that said, guys, how often you should change it kind of depends. I've read anything from every 2 to 4 weeks. Now, as far as when I think you should change it, I think the more often the better. That way you get a true, accurate reading. I do weekly water changes, and I'll probably change mine out every other week. Now, with the reference fluid, you don't have to change it out that often, guys, because for one, it's closed off, it doesn't change color, so it really can't fade too much or anything like that. But I would definitely change that at least once a month. But as far as the indicator fluid, the 4-DKH solution, definitely change that every other week. You know, that way it prevents it from fading, and you know, condensation is going to get in there and dilute it and stuff. So, you know, change it out every other week. That way it stays strong, stays accurate for you. All right, next question comes from my boy Oscar Lover 131. Asked, what is my opinion on aquarium salt? I think aquarium salt is great. Now, as far as regular use, like using it all the time, no. I would never recommend that to anybody with freshwater tanks using salt, you know, inside their tanks all the time. Even though you're only using a tablespoon per 5 to 10 gallons, depending on your needs. I definitely wouldn't do that all the time, guys, and I'll tell you why. The reason people use salt in an aquarium generally is, you know, to help out with sick fish or help out with stressed fish. And what it does when you have a stressed or sick fish is it replenishes sodium and chloride inside your fish's systems, which they need when they are stressed and or sick. So it replenishes that. It'll also inhibit you know, the growth and spread of parasites. And it has also been known to prevent fish from taking in toxic chemicals like nitrite, ammonia, you know, stuff like that. But just like with any, you know, kind of, I'm going to quote, medication, guys, you can look at it as kind of like an antibiotic type deal. If you take an antibiotic all the time, it's not always going to work. You know, your body's gonna, you know, become used to having it and not use it efficiently, and any kind of, you know, illness that you have is eventually going to build up a tolerance towards it, and grow stronger to where you'll need a stronger antibiotic. So, you know, that may not be the case with salt, guys, but that's my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it. Aquarium salt is great to treat stressed and sick fish, but it's not great to add into your aquarium constantly. And you only want to add salt to your aquarium when you actually physically take water out of the aquarium. Not evaporation, guys. You don't add salt to an evaporated water add. You add salt to water that you take out of the tank, because salt doesn't evaporate. Alright, so next question comes from InVega55. InVega55. What is your take on bare-bottom tanks? I think bare-bottom tanks are great. They definitely have their purpose. But as far as having a bare-bottom tank on, you know, something that you permanently keep fish in, or raising fish in, you know, it's not really pleasing to the eye. Now, if it's a bare bottom tank and say it's, you know, your quarantine or hospital tank, that's actually the best way to do it, guys, because, you know, with a bare bottom tank, you know, there's not a whole lot of stuff in there that parasites or diseases can latch onto, and kind of hide from the medication per se. You know, like if you had a substrate inside of a quarantine or medicated or a hospital tank, you know, it would just, in my opinion, be a little bit harder to treat. And you know, but as far as having a bare bottom tank inside of an aquarium where, you know, you like say a display tank or, you know, something like to that effect, I don't like them. I mean, everybody has their taste, and if you like bare bottom tanks with your displays, that's great. But, you know, I mean, they definitely have their purpose as a quarantine or hospital tank addition. So, that was an easy question. Next question comes from my girl, aka Legs. Do fish keepers keep an up and running tank that's been cycled and do routine water changes on it, or on it just for the purpose so it's ready if they need it? Just talking about quarantine tanks, guys. You know, some people do keep up and running quarantine / hospital systems. Inside my new fish room, I will definitely have 4 tanks dedicated to hospital / quarantine, because the rest of my room is going to be on a centralized filtration unit. So, I mean, yeah, it's definitely beneficial if you have the space. That way, you won't have to take time to, you know, set one up. You know, you can just immediately transfer the fish there. Fish or shrimp or, you know, whatever you're putting in there. And another benefit about it, you know, is you'll always have that filter running, and, you know, you can break it down, and what you can do is actually switch out the media in it. You know, keep media running inside one of your established systems, and keep media running on your quarantine / hospital tank. And if you ever do have to use it, then of course you want to take that media out and rinse it really well because of the medication, the parasite, the disease, whatever. And then you can immediately just put the seeded media back in that filter, and it'll be up and running again. So yeah, it's beneficial. But if you have several tanks, you know, all of them have filters and whatnot, then it's not really necessary. Especially if you don't have the space, guys, because if you have a bunch of filters, you can set a quarantine / hospital tank up within 5 minutes, just like I did this little 10-gallon here for the Fest Days. I literally set this up in 5 minutes, and they are doing a ton better, by the way, guys. They're just out all the time now, eating like pigs. The Polyneris is gone. All their fins are growing back. All of them are looking very, very healthy. They're always interested when I come close to the tank, so that's awesome right there, guys. Saved every single one of them. They weren't in that bad a shape, though. And let's see here. Next question is again from Oscar Lover 131. Asked, do you think fish can sense fear? Is it similar to the schooling explanation that I explained inside the last Q&A Friday? Yes, fish do sense fear. Very much so they do. Any living organism that has a working brain that can think, you know, can sense fear, guys. You know, the sense of fear is, you know, related to the feeling of pain or anguish or anxiety. And fish definitely have that. I mean, you can see that, you know, like when you walk inside of a room and you have a tank sitting on the floor, the fish run and hide, because you're so much bigger than them, and, you know, their immediate response is fear, hide. Now, that may be a reflex reaction, which is up for debate as to whether or not that's a true sense or feeling of fear. But, guys, I mean, seriously, you know, as in humans, whenever we sense fear, what's the first thing you'll do if it's like, you know, a pretty substantial fear? Your reflexes are going to tell you to run away or get away. You know what I mean? So, you know, this debate as to, you know, them actually thinking about fear itself, and that not being so, I totally disagree with that. I think that fish definitely have the capability to think, especially these cichlids, guys. I mean, you can tell that by, you know, so many species, you know, coming up and letting you pet them. You know, they can feel compassion too, guys. I mean, you know, that's just the way it is. I mean, they are very, very intelligent creatures. You know, I've even read and talked to people that say their intelligence level is up there with dogs and cats. Just like a parrot, a full-grown macaw, guys, has the intelligence of a 5th grader, you know? So you really have to think, just because they have a smaller brain and, you know, stuff like that, guys, it doesn't mean that they can't, you know, think, feel, have emotions, and stuff like that. They definitely do, and I'll argue that point all day. Alright, last question, regrettably last question, comes from my boy Rico Suave. How did they get blood red parrot cichlids? I knew this question was going to come one day. I was hoping not for a while, because, guys, this is a huge, huge debate with a lot of people, very controversial, and people actually get mad at you when you talk about it. You know, if any of y'all want to get mad and, you know, start dogging me, that's fine. I don't care. I'm going to give you my opinion point blank and simple. And if you don't like it, let me know. If you do, let me know. Either way, guys, you know, it's not that big of a deal to get so upset about. But anyways, the blood red parrots, they were actually introduced in the hobby in the 80s. And back then, guys, they were severely deformed fish. Their gill plates, I gotta stop using so many scientific words all the time, guys. I'm starting to sound like a real big nerd. And their gill plates weren't functional. Their mouths were severely deformed, even more so than they are now. And they were really prone to disease back in the day. Now, nowadays with the blood red parrots, they're actually a very, very hardy fish. You know, they can withstand cooler temperatures, warmer temperatures. I mean, they're resistant to diseases for the most part. Not fully resistant, but guys, I'm just saying they're really, really hardy, okay? And, you know, it's been said that they've come from the combination of so many fish, it's not even funny. I've read, you know, the most common is they come from the Severum and Labiatum. You know, the Severum or red devil cichlid, which is kind of like so far out of this world, it's not even funny. There's also been Citronellum and Synspillums, breeding them together to get the blood red parrots. Even convicts mixed with goldfish, guys. I mean, it's all over the place with these fish. It's even been said that, you know, they hybridized the fish, took those fry, grew them up, and then bred them, or crossbred them back with the parents that produced those fry to get the blood red parrot. Now, those are all fine and dandy. You know, they're great guesses, but until somebody does some DNA analysis on these guys, we're never going to know which fish they come from. You can speculate all day, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be just an opinion. And with that said, guys, this is my opinion. I don't believe they are, you know, hybridized between two separate species. Now, I do believe they are a hybrid, but I believe they were bred with the same genotype, if you get what I'm, or if you're picking up what I'm putting down, guys, pay attention. This is going to get complicated. Everybody's heard of a balloon-bodied fish. Now, if you look at a blood red parrot cichlid, it looks like a balloon-bodied fish. You know, like your balloon-bodied rams, your balloon-bodied gouramis, swordtails, mollies, you know, and I think they're a mutation of the citronellum, and somebody isolated that balloon-bodied gene and bred it to make the blood red parrot cichlid. And, you know, as far as the color forms that you can get on these guys, of course they don't come in purple, pink, green, and shit like that. Anybody that buys those fish that are that color, I don't like that. You know what I mean? They're either dyed or they're tattooed. Both are completely inhumane to fish, but that's a whole nother ball game as far as videos go, guys. But you know, citronellums have the multicolored, you know, like bright orange, bright red bars, stuff like that. You know, the Midas complex. And that's where I think they're from. I think that balloon body mutation gene was isolated and bred into citronellum, and in turn created the blood red parrot. Now, does that make them still a hybrid? Yes, that still makes them a hybrid, because they had to use a few different fish in the Midas complex to get that mutation, and then go back and breed it with the citronellum. And who's to say that it was even a citronellum that it was done with, guys? You know, there's definitely amphalophus in that fish, but I think that it was a gene mutation that was expanded on. Now, as far as my feelings on this fish, y'all know that I don't keep hybrids, but I don't knock them unless, you know, somebody's trying to push them on you or say that they're something that they're not. That's the only time I'll knock hybrids, guys, because to be honest with you, when somebody walks inside a store that's completely new to aquariums and sees these fish, the blood red parrots, and, you know, how cute they are or how ugly cute they are, you know, that may cause them to buy it. And by them buying that cichlid, that hybrid cichlid, that's getting another person into the hobby. And, you know, down the road they may switch to a different fish or keeping hybrids or, you know, whatever. But that, guys, it gets another person into the hobby. Now, did that come from, you know, the hybrids having really bright, pretty colors, which they're made for? Or did it come because of the cuteness of the fish? You know, we don't know that. But when it brings another person into the hobby, I respect it. I respect it because I respect this hobby. So, you know, do hybrids have their place in the hobby? Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. There's lots of people out there that love to keep hybrids, that love to breed hybrids, that love to discover new types of hybrids, guys, and you know, I have mad respect for that because it's part of the hobby. And when it brings a new person into the hobby, that's awesome. I mean, that is awesome, guys. You know, a lot of times when you see these cichlids that we keep, they're not brightly colored. They're not all fancy looking and stuff like your flower horns, like your blood red parrots, like your you know, other hybrids. Those are the most common, but, you know, it gets somebody into the hobby. I dig it. You know what I mean? And to say that I've never had a hybrid fish in my fish room would be a lie, guys. Everybody's had a hybrid fish. You know, at least 95% of people have kept at least one hybrid fish. And, you know, it gets people into the hobby. It gets people excited about the hobby. And, you know, that's just awesome to me. So, with that said, guys, I hope you all are having an awesome Friday. Stay tuned for another video here in just a few minutes. And Happy fish keeping. Make sure you rate, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you're thinking. This is what I'm doing. This is what I've done. And we'll see y'all next time. Adios, folks.